Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot and welcome to another flight in the ToLiss Airbus A340. Today we're going to take it on the latest Lufthansa A340-600 route from Washington Dulles down to Frankfurt. This is going to be a quick 7.5 hour flight through the night, departing just in the last couple hours of daylight here from Washington and then landing a nice little time after sunrise over in Frankfurt. So I'd say we are just not going to lose any time over this and we are going to get right into this one. So do follow me right into the cockpit. And here we are. So we are going to get started with a quick review of our flight plan. And as always, we are going to use Firefox to view our SimBrief flight plan for that. And here it is. So we are going to leave Washington and then head all the way up to the North Atlantic tracks. We'll be crossing via track Yankee today and then all the way on the other side into Frankfurt. The significant weather chart for our departure shows us moderate turbulence up to Newfoundland. So yeah, probably not the very best weather that we can find over here. Well, and thereafter we are heading out to the Atlantic with a lovely jet stream from behind. This is going to push us all the way over to the Atlantic, again looking at moderate turbulence all the way up until we are leaving the North Atlantic track. So except for the last 2 hours, we're basically expecting everything to be turbulent today. Now, let's go ahead and have a look into our weather. Washington currently a little bit gusty, and that's going to be straight cross. They're currently using runway 30 for departure, but look at that, 29 degrees already, and it's just early April. Alright, Frankfurt is looking fantastic and the weather forecast for our landing tells us 230 at 15, gust 25, overall good visibility, couple clouds and that's it. Our alternate in Han basically gives us the very same weather conditions. Now with that in mind, let's have a look into the plan. We're leaving Washington at 21:55, landing in Frankfurt half an hour ahead of schedule, so everything easy over there. Our weights are not critical and we'll be cruising level 3.5, initially 3.6, 3.7, then later on. Now let's go ahead and have a look into the fuel plan. So far there is nothing that would justify any extra fuel in my opinion here. So planned takeoff fuel is 64 tons plus taxi. Why don't we just make it 65 tons and that's it. Alright, and with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started on our pre-flight procedure, starting with the preliminary cockpit preparation, which is engine masters off, start selector norm, weather radar off, landing gear lever down, wipers off. Battery voltage is more than 25.5, but we've had electrical power anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much. We'll leave the radio where it is right now, just not gonna kill our ears over there, and then we can start with the IRS 1, 2, and 3 with the APU fire test, which is looking good. And then we can head right down into the lighting setup. So I do want the floodlights about here in the middle, intake lights on, pedestal floodlights, we'll turn them somewhere to the half position, and we'll probably be using a light bit of dome lighting over here. Okay, that our lights are set, then let's head right down into the electronic flight bag here. We are going to start by downloading our SimBrief OFP into here as well. Would you please get started? Thank you very much, here it is. Okay, and then we got our Navigraph charts which we can prepare for our departure. So that's going to be Washington Dulles, starting with the airport chart, the parking gates, and then we'll probably need a standard instrument departure down here as well. Jacobi 4, alright, easy, and that's that one. Alright, perfect, with that we got our recent charts covered. So let's continue on with our weight and balance. So for that, we got 280 passengers today. Like this, 224 point something is our estimated zero fuel weight, 224.2, that looks good with me. Let's put that a little bit further off to save a bit of fuel. And then we wanted 65 tons as far as I remember, or was it 64? Quick look into the flight plan to confirm that. 65. Okay, so weight and balance, fuel and watt 65. Okay, great. Then let's do a quick refuel. Let's apply these load values, and with that we are all set. Lovely. Okay, then Initial takeoff performance. We are going from Kiat, enter, runway. Will be 30. Let's go ahead and see if we can already get an Asus here. AOC menu, flight in it. Let's go. Flight plan, data link in progress. Let's give it a moment to uplink that stuff, and here we go. Departure Asus request should be on its way. Okay, let's see what we got here. Asus Kiat. Alright, that is looking good. Would be lovely if we could just print it now. So, Washington information, Echo 19015, gust 21, 10 miles, view 8000, scatter 2500, 29 degrees, 2998, and departing runway 30. Contact ground on east or west side of the ramp with a spot number and Asus when ready a taxi. And that's it. Okay, so altimeter is 2998. We can already set that down here. Come on, 2998. And then we're gonna put the same thing up here and up here. Alright, like that. So for the intersection we got none. The wind is 1. Oh god. 190 at 15. Enter, temperature 29, and the QNH is 29.98. For real? Okay, 1015. Alright, that looks good. Runway is dry, anti-ice is off. We are looking at a takeoff weight of 288. So 288 CGs, somewhere around 33 I think. Flags off, looks good. Config 2, speed's looking good, 341 meter stop margin, that's fantastic. Okay, so that's all looking good. Then let's do our recall, which is good. Oxygen pressure is good, hydraulic quantity is good, engine oil, I'm gonna cheat. Engine oil is full, perfect. Okay, that is looking excellent. Then we got all that stuff, flaps are up, that agrees with the levers, spoilers are retracted, parking brake off, alternate brakes are checked, parking brake is on again. We still have enough accumulated pressure, so that's all good. Okay, and with that we are done with that good stuff, so let's go ahead and go right into the pre-flight procedure. Ground control is coming on, you are coming on, the rest is looking good up there. Lights, signs, like that, battery test, off and on again, and elect DC. Battery number 1 is not doing anything. Let's try that again. Off, on. Is it charging? No, it's charging. Okay. So that is looking good. Fuel is already all on. That's checked, getting up to the front. Today is the 4th of April, and over here everything's looking good. Radios are set, weather radar is now set, middle is set, the right is set, and then let's go right down into our flight plan. So we are going to get our flight plan up over here as well, and then we can start with that setup. So, A340-600, Trent 556 engine, nav database up to date, delete anything we don't need, and pilot element retained, that's good, that's just the stuff that we need for the flight. So, Washington to Frankfurt, alternate, Echo Delta Fox Hotel, but I do remember when I enter that it kills the wind data uplink, so that's a bug in the ToLiss Airbus. Lufthansa 419, passengers, I think were 280 in the end. Flight all 350, so far so good. Departure, Washington, runway 30. And we are looking at the Jacoby 4 departure. towards Swan. Alright, like that. Insert. Over in Frankfurt, we'll enter the ILS approach runway 25 left and the IMCOM 1 Alpha arrival. Like that, 1 Delta Fox 626 transition, insert. Secondary, copy active, then we got the Yacht X4, which is based on Kiat 30 slash, what's the runway track? 301. And straight ahead 25 miles, like that, store. Where's the waypoint? Guys, we found a bug. IAD X4. Nope. We insert it down here? Yes. Okay. No comment on that. Anyway, we got something, so let's just use it. Oh, that's good. And then after the holding, we return to Washington on runway 19 center. Okay, like that. And insert. Let's have a look at this. Looks good. Alright, flight plan, fix info. Washington 30301 and Yacht X4. And then we can move on. Normally I would continue tracking our route now. Unfortunately, it only saves everything to on the first page here. But nonetheless, that's something that we could check. I will let my first officer, who kindly volunteered to do it, do that. But what we need to do is to go down here and check our North Atlantic waypoints. So we are crossing via track Victor. Let's find that track message. Here it is, Victor. Nixo 4850, 5040. Then we got 5130, 5220, Limri, and Xatpo. Alright, so the waypoint names are all correct. Now let's go over their coordinates. That one's correct. That one is correct. 5130 is correct. And 5220 is correct. Okay, all looking fantastic. So, let's see about the step climbs. Nixo, Xatpo, Nivnu. Okay, yeah, we can delete Nivnu. So Nixo and Xatpo. That is looking okay. Alright, wind data request, and here's the wind data uplink. Now let's go ahead with our fuel prediction. 224.425, 65 tons. Then let's enter the fuel data, which is 1.7 and 2.8 and 3.7. Okay, taxi 0.8, and that should not be negative extra fuel. 57.5, so we should arrive, yeah, with sufficient fuel. Okay, no comment. Alright, then let's go ahead and enter the performance. Config 2 takeoff. And flex 56, 475966. Okay, noise abatement procedure number 2. We're in 1300/1300 and 1800. Like that, and the flex temperature is 56. Okay, so that stuff's in here, that stuff is in there, then we need Kia 19 center for the immediate return, 350, 359, 382, that looks all correct, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so last thing is the standard instrument departure. Let's go ahead and have a close look at that. So, runway track till 820, then a right turn heading 320. And we got runway track 820, then heading 320. And thereafter we continue via Rings, Jacobi, and we got Rings, Jacobi, then Grim, Soki, and Swan. That's Grim, Soki, Swan. Okay, that's all looking fantastic. Perfect, then we got that stuff. So, initial climb shall be confirmed from our PDC. Let's see if that's anywhere in there. Actually, it isn't. Okay, nope, it's not in there. That's fine with me. Oh, it is. Maintain 3000. Okay, and squawk 6564. Alright, so that's all set, and we're flying from the left seat today. Perfect. So with that, we have finished our setup. Then let's go right for the departure briefing, please. So we are going to depart from Washington Dulles, runway 30. We got the Jacobi 4 departure Swan transition, climbing 3000 MSA, a little bit higher than that. Where is it? 3500. And extra fuel and time, they say 0, we say it should be about a ton. So giving us about 10 minutes. Alright, no hotspots for our taxi out, and we got a stop margin of 341 meters, engine outside straight at 25 miles, which is in here, and there's the IATX 3 point. That's good. If you need to make an immediate return, runway 19 center is active. The wind is almost down the runway, so we can come back. We are above the maximum landing weight, but not by much, so the essence of the overweight landing procedure is just to turn the packs off, and that's it. Now, I've got nothing special. I've got nothing non-standard. Do you see any threats for today's departure? Nope, me neither. And that's our departure briefing completed. So, let's do the cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pad and covers removed. Fuel quantity 65,000 kilograms balanced. Seatbelts on. ADRs, nav and barrel ref QNH 29998. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright, boarding is completed. Let's say hello to our passengers. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Nachmittag aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel. Im Namen der Lufthansa darf ich Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unseres A340-600 auf unserem gemeinsamen Weg nach Frankfurt willkommen heißen. Wir erledigen jetzt noch die letzten Papierarbeiten und werden uns dann auf den Weg machen. Starten heute in westliche Richtung und dann mit einer Rechtskurve einmal um Washington herum in Richtung Frankfurt. Ja, wir erwarten heute einige leichte Turbulenzen auf dem Weg, da wir durch einige Starkwindfelder fliegen werden. Nichtsdestotrotz bitten wir Sie, die Anschnallgurte auch dann geschlossen zu halten, wenn die Anschnallzeichen ausgeschaltet sein sollten. Wir erwarten eine pünktliche Ankunft in Frankfurt und melden uns dann noch einmal mit dem neuesten Wetter, wenn wir den Anflug starten. Und bis dahin machen Sie es sich bei uns an Bord gemütlich. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel. In the name of Lufthansa, welcome aboard our Airbus A340-600 on our flight to Frankfurt. We're just finishing up the last paperwork. Thereafter, we will start our pushback, taxi out runway 30 for a departure in a westerly direction, and then with some right turns around Washington directly to Frankfurt. We are expecting some strong tailwind on today's flight, therefore we are going to arrive in Frankfurt half an hour ahead of schedule. However, that comes at the cost of some light turbulence to be expected throughout the flight. Now sit back, relax and make yourself comfortable. If there is anything we can do for you to make your flight more enjoyable, don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. In the meantime, sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us, and we'll get back to you with the latest weather when we start the approach into our destination airport. Thank you very much for your attention, and once again, welcome on board. Okay, passengers are dealt with, then let's go ahead and start that APU, and well, would be nice if we actually had a load sheet available. Unfortunately we don't, at least not a physical one, so we just gotta use what we got up here. So, zero fuel weight is 224.2 and the CG 33. 224.2/33. Here we go, slightly lighter, take off weight 288.4, and that's 288.4, CG 34.7, so 288, what did I say, 0.4, yeah, the rest is taxi fuel, that's fine, and 34.7, enter, calculate, conf 2, 54, 47, 5966, so conf 2, 54, 47, 59, 66, and trim up 0.7. Like that. Okay, perfect. That's everything in. Then I do not think we need to call anybody here for our pushback and startup clearance. Remarks, departure 119.85, contact ATC at west side of ramp. Okay, that's fine with me. So 119.85 can be tuned down there. Like this, and then let's see. The CTAF frequency over here is 134.425, so let's use that for the ramp. Okay, this should hopefully do. Perfect, then we're done with everything. So let's tell GSX to prepare the position for pushback and departure, please. And while it's attempting to do that, we can go ahead and check the APU. Available and on. Ground power off. So, ground services. Remove, remove, remove. Auto, 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 auto. Alright. So, are they closing something? Yeah, hydraulic elect pump is showing, that means the doors are operating. Good. So, scheduled off block in 2 minutes. I'd say we're running pretty well over here. Here we go, everything closed. So, slides please. Should happen automatically anyway, here we go. Alright, before start procedures. And before start checklist. Park and brake. Set, takeoff speeds and thrust. 147, 159, 166, flex 54. Windows. Why can I see the... Not supposed to see this. Oh, that's a lovely bug. Let's actually... See, that's what it's supposed to look like. Alright, that's gotta be a little bug down there. We're not supposed to see the rat. Alright, anyway, windows are closed and the bacon is on. Before start checklist complete. Watching traffic, Lufthansa 419 Heavy, pushing back, Bravo 45. Okay, so nose to the right please, facing west, and then... Oh god, I accidentally left Say Intentions AI on while I want to fly on VATSIM here. Alright, close Say Intentions, because we can absolutely do that. Okay, the area behind us is clear. Excellent, just like it should be. Good, so... Ground from cockpit. Please confirm that all the doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed. Roger that, so clear to push, facing west, park and brake is off. Thank you. Start on pushback, off block 55, exactly on the second. Wow. This is what I call being on time, huh? Okay then. So ground. Start sequence is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll begin with engines number 1 and 2 as soon as you give us the clear signal. And you are clear to start. After that, starting 1 and 2. Alright, engine 1 start. Engine 2 start. Okay, well that's all in progress. Let's get that taxi chart out. Why do they vanish when I click on there? That's a bug. So, do we have any spots drawn on here? Does any of that shit work? I'm clicking. So it looks like that's gonna be spot 72. Okay, I can work with that. So a good start 1 and 2, starting 3 and 4. Clear 3, 4. Engine 3 start. And the push is completed, set brakes. Parking brake set. Engine 4 start. So now it would be nice if we could use the cameras to monitor what GSX is doing down there. Unfortunately though, we can't. Alright, so 3 and 4 are starting. And there's a good start on engine number 3. And a good start on engine number 4. Okay, ground, we have 4 good starts, clear disconnect, show me the pin in front, and have a good day, bye-bye. So, tuck, tow bar, guy, pin. That's what we need to see. So, trim up 0.7, yeah, that looks about alright. Okay, after start checklist. Anti-ice, off, ecom status, checked, pitch trim, that's 34.7%, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist complete. Dallas traffic, Lufthansa 419, taxiing in spot 72. Okay, brake off. Lights on, let's go. It does roll in idle, perfect, just like it should. And brake check. Pressure 0. Okay, 1985. It's gonna be an X frequency. Shall we just give him a call now already? I'd say so, huh? Potomac approach, Lufthansa 419 Heavy in Dallas, taxiing the spot 72. Would be nice if they answered, but they don't. It looks like they just got a second frequency online, 1261. Let me try that one. Potomac approach, good afternoon, Lufthansa 419 Heavy, taxiing the spot 72.
419 Heavy, Potomac approach, good evening. Runway 30 taxi via Zulu Yankee 11, the Dallas altimeter 29908. Information, I believe it's Lima is current.
Roger, we'll check the ATIS again, and we'll taxi to hold point runway 30 via Zulu and Yankee 11 on the altimeter 29998, Lufthansa 419 Heavy.
Yeah, Lufthansa 419 Heavy, my apologies. Golf is current, altimeter 29908. Wind 18011, gust 19.
We'll check Golf and 299H, Lufthansa 419 Heavy. Okay.
Potomac, hello, United 933 Heavy 14,000 with Golf.
So, Zulu Yankee 11, that's here.
Yeah, 933 Heavy Potomac approach, good evening. Descend via the Hyper 9 arrival, the Dulles altimeter 29908. You can expect the ILS runway 19 left approach.
Okay, so got no changes to the takeoff briefing. Anything from your side?
Expect 19 center.
Nope.
Appreciate it. Descend via the Hyper 9, expect 19 center, United 933 Heavy.
Actually, you just gotta turn that one off again. Flight control check.
Delta, short of whiskey,
full
ready
up.
for taxi at Manassas.
Full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral, and the rudder is responding. Perfect. I can turn that thing back on again.
Runway 16 left. Taxi via...
Okay, taxi checklist. Flight controls checked, flap setting, config 2, radar and predictive wind shear on an auto, engine start selector,
Charlie,
norm, ecam memo, takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist complete. Alright, so we continue to Yankee 11.
Can't I just turn on to 16 left from Victor directly, or is that not possible? 555 X-ray Delta.
Basically straight ahead Zulu into Yankee 11.
Whiskey.
So that's
Alpha,
basically straight ahead
Alpha
to the full length for the
Victor,
departure.
cross 16 right, hold short of 16 left.
Whiskey Alpha, Alpha 1, cross runway 16 right on Victor, hold short of 16 left.
Alright, so
555 X-ray Delta.
absolutely fantastic clear skies here. Now I would prefer it even a little bit more if those winds weren't there. But hey, it's gonna make things interesting. So gotta enjoy ourselves, huh?
Yes, you can.
Oh, this looks wrong. Ground speed 19, TUS 40. Should the plane actually be able to sense the TUS at this speed? Because I've never seen something like that. Don't think it should. Only from 100 or so? I think it is 100 knots. Because below that it doesn't have any wind calculations. Like, where should it get that wind data from right now?
Okay, hold on. I got 3 people.
Has no source for that.
2354, you're first. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. We are established at Nassau Country.
Okay, Yankee 11 is off to the left, and then we go to the full length.
2354, you're going to Kennedy still, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Long silence on the frequency. The question, who is the guy with the what the fuck moment right now? Because it certainly sounds like one of the two is.
Approaching November 252 Echo.
2528 Echo, Potomac approach, good evening.
Hello, we've just crossed Swan intersection. We're going BWI. Request vectors for the RNAV runway 15 left approach. We have information leak.
(2528 Echo, Potomac approach, good evening. Turn left heading.
Look at how the taxi cam says that we're in the grass while we're absolutely not.
Okay, 150, you're going to put us the
And
other
I think
direction.
when it becomes useless, that's the moment to turn it off.
Yeah, you want to go 15 left. Oh, I'm sorry, you want to go 15 left. Disregard. Yeah, you're fine. Continue present.
Present heading, we're 4000. 28 Echo.
Lufthansa 419 Heavy is ready for departure.
Lufthansa 419 Heavy, stand by. Freeboard Concord 5 Heavy turn 20 degrees right.
Degrees right, 05.
Yeah, 1887 radar contact.
Okay.
1000.
I take it that standby means he's currently busy getting his frequency under control, as I think he just got online.
1000 or quick and scenario is
Alright. So, provided that he's going to give us takeoff clearance any moment now, I think we're actually doing pretty well in our timing here. 35 minutes to the runway. You can clearly see
Runway
that this
28
is an
taxi via
Airbus.
Tango uniform.
28. Okay, via Tango uniform. Southwest 1603.
That's wrong. I'm sorry. We're east of Baltimore. 15 right.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, got you.
Just trying to see if there's anyone on TCAS who might be a reason for the departure
That
delay.
won't work either. Tango Papa. One of these days I'll get it.
No problem. I know what you mean. Tango Papa to 15 right.
Okay, so that guy definitely not. Neither that guy. So yeah, I think should be our turn any moment now.
Potomac approach. TBM 555 X-ray Delta ready, holding short of runway 16 left Manassas, ready for departure.
Yeah, 933 heavy, proceed direct knocks, cross knocks at or above 900,000.
Yeah, this Manassas seems pretty busy today. Second aircraft already. Don't hear that too often here. I can't expect that, you know, a bit of dollars, a little bit less of Washington National, and that should have been it. So, shall we be those guys and ask him how long the delay is gonna be? Because, yeah, that's usually a good indicator. Yeah, I think we will be those guys.
At 1887, stop your climb 7,000.
Stop climb 7,000, United States 1.
Welcome approach, JetBlue 2254, it is possible to climb and maintain flight level 180.
Hey, JetBlue 2354, I've got you filed to 090. Is that not correct?
JetBlue filed in 9,000. That doesn't sound
That
right.
is correct.
Okay, you're at 900,000 already. I'll hand you off to New York here in a second.
Potomac approach 555 X-ray Delta, holding short 16 left Manassas, ready for departure.
TBM 555 X-ray Delta, runway 16 left, clear for takeoff.
Okay, that guy's getting takeoff clearance. That means he's not keeping the airspace empty because it would be
555 X-ray Delta.
too congested. In that case, we can be the Asus as well. Lufthansa 419 Heavy, how long is the expected delay?
Lufthansa 419 heavy, wind.
Here we go.
Fly heading 320, wind 29, wind 18011 gust 19, runway 30 clear for takeoff.
Fly heading 320, runway 30 clear for takeoff, Lufthansa 419 Heavy. Coming true, prepare for departure. Okay, and pack 2 as well.
That was United
So, lab checklist.
We just pushed back here. Charlie 15, ready for taxi, runway 30.
So,
1182,
takeoff
runway
runway.
30,
That's
taxi,
30
Yankee
full
11,
length,
it is
TCAS,
golf, current.
Tara, PAX 102, off, land checklist complete. Okay, are you ready? That sounds like a yes. Then, so am I.
That's my Southwest 1603 at Baltimore. We're ready for departure.
And that's intentional. So the approach is clear,
Southwest 1603, wind
and the right is clear.
Runway 15 right, clear for takeoff.
Just pick off 15 right, Southwest 1603.
Number 2528 Echo, turn left heading 240.
Left turn 240, 28 Echo.
Happy rolling?
On runway 30.
Take off. Manflex 54 SRS auto thrust blue. Thrust set.
Target 10,000, United
Check.
States 1.
Speedbird Concorde 5, Speedbird Concorde 5, heavy turn left heading 280.
100 knots. Checked. Rotate. Hold the climb.
555 X-ray
Gear up.
Delta, radar contact south.
Nav. Check.
TBM 555 X-ray Delta, 2,000 feet.
TBM 5 X-ray Delta.
Full heading 320. Heading.
Hamilton by Southwest 1603, passing 1000.
Southwest
Thrust climb,
1603,
open climb,
radar
heading, auto
contact,
thrust.
climb
I think I heard climb via the SID, Southwest 1603.
That's correct, climb via.
Climb via Southwest 1603.
Flaps 1.
933 heavy
Speed check.
wind.
Flaps 1.
18011 gust 19er, runway 19er center, clear to land.
Center, clear to land, 933 heavy.
Good afternoon, Dulles Approach. This is November 225, Foxtrot Bravo. Just joining your airspace. We're expecting ILS runway 19 center. Is that fine?
You'd probably be better with 19er left.
19 or left, we can do that.
Okay, number 225, Fox Bravo, you can expect
And flap 0.
19er left.
Speed check.
Descend
Flap
via the
0.
wind 1. The Dulles altimeter 29908.
And there's that second pack coming
November
on.
225, Foxtrot Bravo.
Alt.
Runway 19 left. We'll descend via wing
And it helps
1.
a lot if you do level off when you're manually flying.
Seabird 5, Concord 5 heavy, turn left heading 220.
Okay, let's put that autopilot on. It's rather busy here.
Seabird
81.
Concord 5 heavy, the Dulles Airport, be off your, roll up, be about your 10
He seems
o'clock.
rather busy with that
Mile
Concorde.
window.
Can't blame him. I'd probably be as well.
I'm sorry, Seabird Concord 5, did you have the field or?
No, we don't. Not yet. We've not got the localizer actually.
Okay, there's one off our right.
Yep, 220 should get
We're
you on the
probably
local
clear
line.
of now.
Where you are now.
Checked. Lufthansa 419 heavy maintaining 3000.
So the 419 heavy, Potomac departure, radar contact, climb maintain 10,000.
I maintain 10,000 Lufthansa 419 heavy.
And fly heading 360 for now.
Heading 360 Lufthansa 419.
JetBlue 23.
Thrust climb alt 10,000 blue and heading 360.
Center 125.32.
Okay, he's probably gonna try to get us in between those two aircraft. We'll see about it. So, acceleration flow pattern, flaps up, spoilers retracted, landing gear up, packs on. And that's the acceleration flow pattern completed.
I reckon we're going too localized to about 20 miles outfield.
Speedbird 5, Speedbird Concord 5 heavy, you wanted 19 center, correct?
Okay, so that's actually looking quite good so far. Now we are climbing a little bit fast here for my taste.
Okay, fly present heading, I'll get you back to the localizer here in about 30 seconds.
Oh, it just popped up earlier, we'll wait.
Oh well, 361 optimum level. Yeah, okay, we are rather light. It can't climb that fast, even as an A340. And we don't have D-rated climb thrust available, so that probably comes in it as well.
Hi, from United Tucson.
Speed, vertical speed, approaching. We're trying to get us around these guys there as well. He may very well be. I guess we're probably about to find out.
Potomac approach, 555 X-ray Delta, maintaining 3,000.
And that's 2,000 to go. Yes, 2,000.
November 555 X-ray Delta, climb maintain.
Yeah, probably waiting for the second aircraft over there. Get us around him.
Climb maintain 1,000.
Definitely seems rather busy here.
555 X-ray Delta.
Yeah, 1887, contact Washington Center, 133.72.
12372, United Tucson.
Dallas United, 1183, ready to go, runway 30.
1,000 to go.
Lufthansa 419 Heavy direct Reagan.
The Reagan, Lufthansa 419 Heavy. Alright, that's Reagan's nav.
Hey, 2 Echo, we're through the final approach course on the RNAV.
Okay.
Right, left, rather.
So let's just go ahead and start clearing up that flight plan already.
2528 Echo, turn left heading 120 Baltimore Airport. I'm sorry, you wanted the
So
RNAV
350,
approach.
361,
Yeah, just
394.
the vector or somewhere onto the RNAV approach. I've got it set up for vectors to final, that's all.
Let's just see. I'll
Okay,
start.
turn left heading 120. I'll get you the RNAV.
We'll start accelerating already.
Okay, turn around back to 120.
So 310 selected.
Yep, descend and maintain 2000.
Let's have a quick look at the flight plan here. 2000 above saves 1377 at no time difference.
2528 Echo, just
2000 below uses more fuel, saves time. Alright, then I guess we're gonna go 2000 above here. I mean, it says plan optimum level, but that's probably optimum for time. Or probably the best compromise between time and fuel.
Have you good on the localizer?
Yeah, we got it.
But yeah, estimated 0555. Let me look at that. We're half an hour early, so let's go 2000 higher, 370.
Runway 19 center, clear to land.
Here we go.
Or 225 Echo Bravo, turn left heading 160, join the runway 19 left localizer.
Turn left heading 160.
Yep, join the 19 left localizer.
This right now is welcome to the VATSIM United States. In the real world, haven't had problems getting climb clearances like this, but in VATSIM it happens a lot of times. I mean, he's probably pretty busy right now, so I'm not complaining about it or something, but that's something that you notice. So 20 degrees, no problem with those clouds at all. It's just so hard to believe that it's actually that warm outside. Okay, in any case, further climb clearance would be nice, and I suppose I'm just gonna get back to you,
United 1183.
we'll start the approach later on in Frankfurt, so for now just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Then I'll see you all on the other side when we do start the approach into Frankfurt later on. morning, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed your night flight across the Atlantic. We are on the AMCOM 1 Alpha arrival via Delta Foxtrot 401 right now, leveling off in flight level 110, about to plan the ILS approach runway 25 left here in Frankfurt. So let's go ahead and start a little bit of work here and also just admire the beauty of the airframe of the A340-600. I just really like that general look of the plane. Not the Aerosoft model, that needs a bit more work. I mean, it's getting there, no doubt about it, it's getting there, but I think you all know what I mean with that. Okay, let's go ahead and start doing a bit of work for our approach. This is basically exactly how you would approach Frankfurt's 25 runways here. Direct Delta Foxtrot 401, level off in 110, maintain high speed, and at some point prior to the airport, ATC is going to slow you down. Now, we did have to activate anti-ice here in complete carbo K conditions, because for some reason ToLiss gave us the ECAM warning. I'm not going to comment too much on that. Let's just say that it's not how I would expect those systems to work. There's still a bit of work that ToLiss has to do on the airplane over here. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about the approach itself. I think the easiest way for us to do that is by going to the FO seat and starting the briefing. So, lovely to hear all those heavy aircraft coming in. Lufthansa 454, that's San Francisco if I'm not mistaken. Then the one that just passed us is Newark. It's a lot of traffic here on this Easter Sunday morning. I mean, it's Easter Sunday, 8:40 AM in the real world at the time I'm recording this, so yeah. On the positive side here, since it is 8:40 AM, you can see I've flown this one overnight in real time, and this time the simulator clock actually stayed where it was supposed to stay. So yeah, that's something. Okay then, let's go ahead and start with the approach briefing. In terms of the arrival, it's an MSA of 4,300 feet, and we are flying the AMCOM 1 Alpha arrival for an ILS runway 25 left, maybe a visual swing over runway 25 center. We'll see about the traffic situation on final. The minimum is 561 and the go-around straight at left turnout, climb to 5,000. Should we get runway 25 right, it's a right turnout, also climbing to 5,000 with a minimum of 560. Extra fuel and time, I can sell you 2 minutes. So I'd say that was perfect fuel planning over here. Let's see how that fuel usage is going to look like versus the plan when we reach the gate. Okay, so let's descend to flight level 60. Thruster load and descend out flight level 60 blue. And yeah, then we are going to go ahead and talk about the second half of the briefing. Flight director guided ILS approach, runway 25 left, flaps full, auto brakes low, and we're going to vacate the runway to the right hand side with idle reverse. Crossing runway 25 center is going to be our hotspot in case we do not get the swing over. And apart from that, I've really got nothing special, nothing non-standard. Threats for the arrival? I honestly don't see any. Well, if we need one, then let's take the Honeycomb traffic on VATSIM over here. It's always a little, you know, you announce you're on a 3-mile final, people line up and take off anyway. So yeah, if we need a threat, then there's that one. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Any questions or suggestions on our briefing? No? Lovely, then that's our approach briefing completed. Alright, passing 10,000, lights on, signs on, constraints, LS. We have GPS primary with a high accuracy, and the engine mode selector is in norm. Okay, and that's the level 100 checks completed. So let's descend to 4,000 feet. Oh, that was a bit too low. 4,000 feet, set QNH. And QNH 1016 is cross-check, passing 9,300. Now, checked.
Traffic, Ocean 759 is coming up runway 25 center.
Wow, that does sound busy indeed. I mean, for a Sunday morning, 8:40 AM.
Traffic Lufthansa 7 Kilo Heavy call this runway 25 after departure to number 1. Number 2.
Who's that guy? For traffic, Lufthansa 419 heavy on a right downwind for the ILS 25 left. The aircraft over Delta Foxtrot 622. Could you report your airspeed, please?
Right traffic, Lufthansa 454, right to place set up for traffic.
And of course he's not complying. Because he's probably not listening to Honeycomb. Welcome to VATSIM.
Traffic, Y27664, taxi in November to runway 18.
Okay, anyway, right turn heading 160, extend the center line from Delta Fox 680. And then we no longer need this.
Traffic, Ocean 75 Mike is taken off on the 25 Delta Frankfurt.
So, Delta Fox 680, red indirect, insert. Okay, let's start slowing down. Activate approach phase.
And for traffic, Lufthansa 7 kilo heavy, line up in with runway 25.
Damn, it's really busy. Okay, speed brake is in. Approach checklist, please. RF, QNH 1016, seatbelts on. That's him. 220, perfect. Lufthansa 3 Juliet Sierra from Lufthansa 419. Could you report when you're reducing speed?
Copy that we
Danke. Okay, so let's do the checklist again.
Is that you?
Yes. Alright,
You're not online.
okay, so, let's make a final turn here. Heading 220, cleared ILS, runway 25 left. Let's approach. So, Cat3 Dual, autopilot 12, log start, glide slope, blue. Okay, so, approach checklist. Barrel ref, QNH 1016, seatbelts on, minimum, MDA 561, auto brakes low, and engine start selected norm, approach checklist complete. And of course we went slightly through the center line here. A little bit too busy with everything.
From the general aviation marquee 15, runway departure.
But that little extra turn over here gives us a bit more separation to the aircraft in front, which is probably not a bad thing. Speed out star. We'll continue reducing speed as soon as the glide slope starts coming in. And most importantly, we are going to do all of that manually. By the way, that auto thrust limited message does come a bit early. Should give you a bit of delay so that you can properly disconnect the autopilot and auto thrust without getting the ECAM. Okay, flaps 1. Speed checked. And flaps 2. Speed checked, flaps 2. Why is the target speed at 190? That makes no sense. That's not ground speed mini yet, is it? Even with 46 knots of headwind.
Over traffic, there will be now and 5 miles out.
Thank you very much. Lufthansa 419 is reducing behind. Alright, the field is on site right in front of us. But I can't really make out the puppy yet, so let's stay on the ILS 25 left for the time being. Glide slope start. Go on altitude 5000 set. Glide slope. So 170 until 5 miles, that's what you normally fly in the real Frankfurt as well. So that's looking quite good. Alright, the runways are in sight now.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa 491 Alpha, is continuing on via November 11 Lima, November 5 stands Bravo 22.
Frankfurt, Lufthansa 419, is there anyone short of runway 25 center for a departure in the next few minutes? Frankfurt, Lufthansa 419, visual swing over runway 25 center. 6.5 miles out. Okay, flight director's off, better. So, runway track set. And then gear down.
Lufthansa 491 Alpha to Lufthansa 419, no one near the liner point, you should be good to go.
Thank you so much. Flaps 3. Speed check, flap 3. And then give me auto brake 2, please. Just to make one of the earlier exits. Flaps full. Speed check, flaps full. And yeah, that speed target is definitely broken. 185. Even that wind is too much.
Frankfurt traffic, flight 7464, lining up runway 18, start.
So what's our supposed speed? 148, so we'll fly about 150. Landing checklist. Econ memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa 320, allocated runway 25.
Okay, nicely established. 5 miles out. I think I reported 6.5 miles when we've been at 7.5.
Lufthansa 24 will push on November.
I'm telling you guys, there is nothing nicer than to fly a swing over followed by the visual after a flight like this. Absolutely love doing that.
Lufthansa 491 Alpha now entering November 5.
So, where is the other aircraft that's vacated 25 left earlier? Because I have a feeling he's probably gonna cross the runway at some point, but not yet. That's good. Frankfurt, Lufthansa 419er, 2 miles final, 25 center. That's basically my do no longer cross the runway call.
Frankfurt traffic, VIP landing A340, for the go to Frankfurt landing up here.
Okay, now the target speed is looking better, even though with 9 knots it's a little high right now.
Traffic, Lufthansa 320, take right, for runway 25.
Continue.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa 370, just about to line up runway 18, Frankfurt.
23 hours.
Man, that ToLiss bus just doesn't land well. Okay, spot us, reverse green, decel. Manual brakes. 70 knots. And here's our exit.
Line up and take off runway 18.
Frankfurt, Lufthansa 419, vacating runway 25 center. Okay, we're gonna go right into here to our gates. So I think this is November 8, isn't it? Some taxiway sign would be nice, but yeah, that's gotta be November 8. Okay, everything clear. Why did it stop? Come on, keep rolling. I'm not applying any brakes. Lufthansa 419 taxiing Alpha. What is it? 69 something the likes via November 8. The one on the side there. That was mainly a call intended for the Lufthansa 320 over there, so that he knows that we are going in here. Okay, starting APU, GSX, Alpha 69, no follow me, handling by Fraport, lights off, after landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear, off, after landing checklist complete. So for whatever it's worth, let's turn those cameras on.
4 out of them, taxi 25 center, November
8. A340 is on the guidance, that is looking good. Looks pretty close to those bridges, but that's kind of normal here. So, nice and slow. And we're going pretty far forward with this airplane. Stop. APU bleed on, parking brake set. APU bleed is on here, that means the valve is operated. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay guys, and with that, welcome to Frankfurt. So let's go ahead and shut all of this stuff over here down. Engines are down, perfect, beacon. GSX deboarding, yes. Okay, slides are disarmed. And now comes the myriad of turning off those fuel pumps. I think this is the correct sequence, isn't it? In any case, parking checklist. Parking record trucks, brake set, engines off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. Alright guys, welcome to Frankfurt. Let's go ahead and get some ground services, amongst others chocks and a GPU. Then with the chocks in, the brake can go off, and ground power is here. Then we can turn off the APU as well. Alright, so you got a standby and 2,000. And now comes the question of all questions. How's the fuel usage? 57.6. And 56.8. So yeah, we used about 600 kilos extra fuel, which absolutely makes sense if we remember our departure vectors over in Washington. That has definitely burned a bit extra. And apart from that, I didn't fly the sim reef profile exactly because I wanted to get some sleep at night, so we just cruised in level 370 all the time. So yeah, I would say that fuel usage absolutely makes sense. Fuel burn is spot on. Okay then, well, one last thing, that's the IRS drift. 4.4, 2.0, 2.4, absolutely fine. And typical Airbus, ground speed 1, ground speed 2. The numbers can vary, I've seen up to like 6 or 7 knots while standing at the gate. Alright guys, and that's it. Then let's go ahead and turn those IRSs off, they're all in limits. The limit is somewhere around 10, probably even a little bit more for a flight of this length. Okay, and with that, welcome to Frankfurt. I do hope you guys enjoyed this flight. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the videos. Like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, like, comment and subscribe, and then I'm looking forward to seeing you all again on the next one.